Two of my weakest points are side delts and chest. Hitting those today. Biceps are actually a strong point, but they're on my chest day so that I can do triceps when they're fresh, aka not right after doing a bunch of pressing. I'll show you guys what I've been doing lately to kind of bring my chest up. It's working slowly. I have terrible chest genetics, and then same thing with side delts. Luckily, they go well together. So I'm gonna show you guys today what I'm doing to kind of bring up those kind of weak spots or weak points. I've already had 2 coffees and a little bit of an energy drink, so we're going pure non-stim.
You're getting better all the time, and turning all against one is an art that's hard to teach. Another clever word sets off an unsuspecting hurt, and as you step back in the line, a mob jumps to their feet. Now dance, good dance, man, he never had a chance, and no one even knew it was really only you, and now you steal away. Take him out today. Nice work.
All right, so for those of you who already know this, I apologize, just bear with me, but I'm starting with the line cable Y raise for 2 reasons. One, like I said earlier, side delts are a lag and body part for me, so starting with them earlier in the session is one of the ways that you can address a lag and body part just by doing it early. You're gonna be able to produce a greater growth stimulus by doing a movement earlier in the session rather than later, because we get tired. Even if you don't feel tired, your nervous system is getting tired throughout the session. So I'm starting with these first because, like I said, leg and body part, but also because they just make my shoulders feel really good for the next movements that I have, which are presses. And I have kind of a bad shoulder, a really unstable shoulder, and it just helps with that. So that's why it's first. If I didn't have an unstable shoulder, I might not have them first in the workout. I might have them second or third or something like that. I can't really go wrong with starting with either chest or side delts because they're both lagging for me. So because this helps make my press movements feel better, I start with this one first.
You're gonna go fuck it with 1,000 lies and a good disguise. Hit 'em right between the eyes, hit 'em right between the eyes. When you walk away, nothing more to say. See the lightning in your eyes, see 'em running for their lives. Strolling out of line and drifting closer in your sight, so play it out, I'm wide awake. It's a scene about me. There's something in your way, and now someone is gonna pay. And if you can't get what you want, well, it's all because of me. Now dance, good dance, man, I never had a chance, and no one even knew it was really only you. And now you lead the way, show the light of day. Nice work you did. You're gonna go fuck it with 1,000 lies and a good disguise. Hit 'em right between the eyes, hit 'em right between the eyes. When you walk away, nothing more to say. See the lightning in
So I'm just putting that plate under there because this machine goes deeper than my active range of motion. And as much as it's good to get into the stretch, especially with pressing movements, because a lot of people bounce at the bottom or they do half range of motion, they don't get into the range of motion where the pec actually has best leverage. If you go too deep, you're gonna essentially create an inability to produce force in the muscles that stabilize the shoulder. And so you're actually gonna be weaker and it's gonna be worse. So you wanna go deep, but you don't wanna go too deep. And I would err on the side of, a little bit less rather than more if you're not sure where that is for you. Just because, like I said, you're gonna be essentially weaker with the chest. You're gonna be able to create less of a growth stimulus for the chest just because you're going too past the point where those other muscles can stabilize and then the chest can't produce as much force.
with 1,000 lies and a good day.
I'm doing the pec deck because I tend to be pretty like shoulder and delt dominant when I press, or sorry, shoulder and tricep dominant when I press, most especially triceps. And obviously the fly, machine fly, cable fly is the best way to basically eliminate your triceps from it altogether. So that's one of the reasons I'm doing this. I never really did flies before because my shoulder didn't like it, but I've gotten my shoulder to a point where it's good enough that I can tolerate doing flies. That's also why you'll see me doing single arm though, as opposed to two at the same time. But the couple things I'm thinking when I'm doing the pec deck are just like, at the bottom of the movement, I want to let my elbows bend. So instead of keeping them out like this, I want to let my elbows bend, get into that stretch position, because when your elbows bent and my upper arm is this far behind my body, I'm actually stretching the pec more than when I'm like this. When I'm feeling a stretch here, I'm going to be obviously stretching the pec, but there's going to be a lot more stress on like the bicep, on the delt, and on like connective tissue and stuff like that that runs across the shoulder. And I want to think about keeping my elbow down a little bit rather than up like this. Not like super exaggerated, but I just want to think about doing that because that'll kind of disadvantage the delt and place a little bit more stress on the chest. And then at the top of the movement, I want to think about straightening my arm. I'm still going to keep it a little bit bent just because when my arm is perfectly straight, my bicep kind of gives out. But at the top of the movement, you want to make sure you're letting your elbow straighten a little bit. Like I said, not fully, but a little bit. Those are like the biggest things I see with pec deck. You could even think about kind of sticking your chest out a little bit more just to kind of create a little bit more of a moment arm for the chest and like biasing the chest kind of more over the delts. Because a lot of times people do pec deck and they're like really rounded forward at the top like this. And that's like all the tensions on my delt when I do that. So just a couple things to consider when you're doing pec deck. I think it's a really good movement and that's why I'm doing it. Take my triceps out of it a little bit.
So the old saying, hugging a barrel is for BS, eh?
Yeah. You definitely don't want to be hugging a barrel or hugging a tree or anything like that. And you want to make sure you're bending your elbows in the bottom, not like this.
Here I stand, helpless and left for dead. Close your eyes, so many days go by, easy to find what's wrong, harder to find what's right. I believe in you, I can show you that I can see right through all your empty lies. I won't stay long in this world so wrong. Say goodbye as we dance with the devil tonight. Don't you dare look at him in the eye as we dance with the devil tonight. Trembling, crawling across my skin, feeling your cold dead eyes, stealing the life of mine. I believe in you, I can show you that I can see right through all your empty lies.
All right, so I started with a delt movement, and then I did 3 chest movements, and then I did another side delt movement. So just consistent with what I said earlier, all of the exercises that I need to do for my priority muscle groups, which are the side delts and the chest, I did earlier in the workout so that I was able to basically create more of a growth stimulus with those movements. You want to always prioritize the weak spots by doing them earlier. So that's why my workout was set up that way. Also, single arm pec deck. Single arm movements or single-sided movements are going to allow you to create a stronger growth stimulus in that muscle, because instead of having to divert essentially energy to both sides at the same time, you can divert all your energy to just one side. So obviously there's a trade-off there because it takes longer to complete the exercise, but also you're going to have to do twice as many sets, and so you're going to have fatigue from each set. But doing single-sided movements is a good way to bring up weak points because, like I said, at least for the first set, you're going to be able to recruit a ton of extra motor units and create more of a growth stimulus. So that's why I'm doing, that's part of the reason why I'm doing single arm pec deck rather than 2 arms at the same time. This is a pretty short workout, so now I just have some biceps, and biceps are a strong point, so I really don't give much of a fuck about them. What I'm doing here for biceps is preacher curl, but I'm just gonna stay in the end range of motion, so to about there, because that's where the biceps specifically have the best leverage. And then as you kind of get closer toward, you know, more bend in the elbow, the brachioradialis is gonna take over. And then the brachialis, which is the one under here, that one has leverage seemingly throughout the entire range of motion. So I'm gonna do 2 sets, end range of motion with the preacher curl to really bias the biceps. And then I'm gonna do 2 sets of a stabilized hammer curl to get the brachioradialis bias. And then obviously both exercises are gonna hit the brachioradialis. And that's the reasoning behind why I'm doing this exercise combo.